Testing. Okay, folks, you should be able to hear me now. I'm not going to be on screen. I can't get any video to work, so we'll go this way. It looks like I'm going to be on this screen and don't need to be on any other one. So we'll just try this again. Yes, round 2, David, absolutely. All right, folks, let's see, let the room fill up just a couple minutes. So at least I can put some screens up. I'll go back and let's just talk WaveTech for a few minutes while the room's filling back up. And really what we're seeing here, and as I set up in last night's video, I'm looking for probably some attrition here on the weekly models that come in tonight. But we are down to 31.03. I talked about 28, 22 numbers on the database. So we're definitely starting to get some things going. One of the really frustrating things that just happened, there was a trade setting up that I was going to show you, and it was awesome. It was perfect. Maybe we can get through it, but let's give it another minute. We had about 120 or so live, so let's just let the room fill back up, and we'll give this another shot. But yeah, so let's just go over and let's go to this page here. This is on the TradingView page on my channel page. We really haven't done any promotion trying to build any followers up there. I think I've got 485 followers, something like that. But we are going to be looking at putting some things out and growing the channel on TradingView, because there's obviously 50 million traders on TradingView across the planet. So that's something I'll be focusing on as we go forward. But yeah, so this will work a lot better. Hopefully we get all the folks back. Not too many people got frustrated. There's 62, so we're starting to gain some traction here again. But yeah, so these are all the indicators that are out there right now, folks. And I'm actually going to not be able to spend as much time with you as I hope. I might be able to squeeze in an hour yet, but some of the, I think the total now is there's 19 indicators, and there is, we sent out an email last night, so you folks know, that has the secret code on getting the discount, and for if you were a previous purchaser. I think it only works if the email's in the system. It was supposed to automatically do it, and we had some issues. We changed providers on the Paygate. We switched from PayPal to Stripe, and all kinds of stuff happened. So it seems like anything you break, just like with this computer today, I've actually got at least the mic working back like I had before. So this is the good microphone, so we should be good to go. And this is on a page I need to present on. So yeah, so the trading room is no longer, by the way. I see I closed the trading room way back in February. So there is no live trading room. I know on Kindle, if you go to kindle.net, it's kind of a dead website. We have kindle.com is kindlereport.com is a place to go. For our products, you can go to Portfolio Expert, and you can go from there. Let me just see if I can. Yeah, so let me. So you can come over and go to Portfolio Expert. This is our our primary site for both institutional accounts and retail. There's a bunch of information there on the portfolio management products. And then, like I said, on TradingView, matter of fact, let's just bring all that stuff up. Yeah, so let's just go right here to Kendall Report. And there's also this website. Now, this is a website we'll be going forward with as well. So, and Kendall.net, KendallReport.net is not a live site. So this is all the resources that we have. We have this place, the Portfolio Expert, and there's lots of information in there. This is where you access the portfolio products. This is Portfolio Expert. And then when we get over here, then we go back to TradingView. So let's just setting up. Looks like we got most everybody that was here earlier. So some folks a little frustrated. Don't blame them. So let's go ahead and let's try to kick into a couple things here. And I tried to set up this page here. Man, this trade worked so good. I've been trying to find a way to at least illustrate to you some of the things that are going on here. I'm going to show you if on the indicators you can go down to invite only scripts. And I'm going to put ppm 1, 2, 3, and ppm 200. And I think, let me just see something. Yeah, I guess wait a second here. Yeah, I'm not a power user on this platform. So what I'm trying to set up, this is 4 of the monitors that I have I have 6 32-inch monitors off to the right here. And what I do, this is for intraday trading, and this is my primary setup that I use. Only these are 32-inch monitors, not little squares on one page. But you can get the idea. And one of the things that is absolutely amazing on the top left-hand side, so I'm going to show you my favorite setup for day trading, is this 5-second chart. And it's kind of hard to see here, but let me just bring this out just a little bit. But these, I've got the algo set for 150 bars in the future. And 150 bars on a 5-minute chart or 5-second chart is about a little bit under 7 minutes if you figure out how many seconds there are. So 150 times 5 will get you there. You're into about 6.5 minutes. And it doesn't seem like it'd be very useful, but it's absolutely crazy. I ran a simulated algo yesterday utilizing a 5-minute chart doing some high-frequency trading yesterday, and it was absolutely insane. I'm going to do another test before it goes to market, but this chart has just an amazing setup here, and I'll show you a couple things. And I have we'll make this a little educational here from the standpoint of what I am, even the old dog like me learns new tricks. And one of the things that I found really interesting, we have it happening on the screen right now, this top left-hand chart, this 5-second, you see the upsloping pattern here. You see the red line is the 200 period, that 200 period moving average on a 5-second chart, which ends up to be 16.6 minutes, by the way. I've done all the math on this stuff, trying to figure out why does this work so well. And the only indicator I put on here is the 200. You can see that the 200 is starting to fail, telling us that we're going to drop under this 200. And you can see all the projections going out 5-6 minutes in the future showing downward projections here. And So I'm going to do my best to show you this setup. I think that because of the screw up on time, I'm going to stick with this. And I am planning on putting like a decent PowerPoint together and do a multi-hour, basically, presentation that will go through all of the indicators, their uses and all that. It'd be more like almost like a master class. It may take a couple 2 or 3 hour sessions to actually get through it, but that's in the plan right now, folks, because these things are so powerful. And I can't reveal a lot, but I can tell you that it's generating some amazing profits on using these techniques that I'm going to talk about. So we have 5-second chart on the right hand across on the top right is a 1-minute chart. And I'm going to show you how to set this up. I'm going to add just a couple things here. I want to go back here, go to the invite only scripts. I'm going to put PPM 1, 2, 3, and PPM 200. You need to do it in the order you want them stacked. Otherwise, you're going to have to rearrange them again. So now we have a couple things. And it was interesting as this was being projected on the 5-second chart that we're going to cross to the 200. We're also seeing all the algos are turning down on the 1 minute. The 5 minute, I'm going to do the same thing. I had this set up, so I figured I'd just show you folks how to set these up. And they work really good when they're on 32-inch monitors, each one of these. So yeah, it's like I can't even set too close to monitors. I have a table, and I have that I set back about 4 feet from the monitor so I can see across my 2 monitors that I'm working on right now, and then the 6 monitors. And I have something called Synergy, which is a mouse that will work across multiple computers. I think you can do up to 4 computers. So I can slide one mouse and run everything in this environment as well. So let's go through 5-second. Look how this stabilized. We get back over the 200 here. We got a little stabilization, but if you're a scalper like me, it went from 80 all the way down to around 76. That's 4 handles. You can make some nice money putting in, 15, 20 contracts on a clip. That's probably about a $3,000 trade easily there, and it happened in just a few minutes. So I'll try to get through this setup, and we'll talk about it a few minutes, and then maybe I can answer a few questions of what we'll do. And like I said, I apologize for that first effort. Looks like we got everyone back, so thanks for coming back, everyone. So on the bottom right is the 5-minute, and this is the magical chart that I want to show you here is the 1 hour. I mentioned something yesterday. I wish I could zoom in on this, but in yesterday's rally, when we got that huge rejection yesterday, we went right to the 200 period moving average, and I need to add one indicator on this as well. We're going to put the PPM 200 on there. But we had a couple things happen. This was off the open yesterday. We had an RTX sell on the hourly, and then we printed the 200 hour moving average, and then came straight down. The algos, I don't know what happens if I can. It would be nice if I could rerun all these in sync together. I don't know that you can do that. Maybe some of you are probably very proficient on this platform. I'm still like all thumbs on here. But this is what I'm looking at. Look at this nice little decline again here. The PPMs are still negative on the 1. The 5-minute, I'm going to add those in. So I was going to do that. Let's add those in. We want to have everything look very consistent. The only one that I don't put all of the PPMs on is that 5-second. This 200 is perfect. Look how 200 crossed over and now we're showing really negative numbers here. So let me just look at that nice decline, and all the algos are lined up right now, showing that we're going to decline. Now I don't know if there's a way. I'm going to try something here. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to figure it out right now. What I would love to do, if somebody knows how to do this, reach out to me. In fact, if you are a pro TradingView user, maybe we can organize maybe with several of you, that we would get a group of people together and do a Zoom meeting, a small group of people and all that. So, but look at this nice move. We just got a continuation going here. And what's set up here, and we're about 15 minutes, so I'll hang out to the 15-minute handle. There is some magic that happens, and what I wanted to show you is when the new hour bar starts, for whatever reason, there's activity. And if you watch all of these increments, not so much the 5-second, but the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and the hourly, this is all I need to get an idea on how to trade. Now, what's nice on my other platform, I use TradeStation to trade. So I have one of the monitors has got TradeStation, and I've got the whole array around me that that you can use from that standpoint. But yeah, so but you can see right now, just get some views here. We still have some a negative outlook on this 5-second chart, and what you watch for is the 200 is trying to bottom. Once the 200 turns up, you'll usually rally back to the 200. The 200's negative, so that's that 16.6 minute moving average. This is going to be your resistance point. We have some fib targets in here, so I've got the indicators that I have on the screen on the 5-second is the fib targets. I've got I typically have market flow on here. I won't set that up, but I would have the market flow indicator looking for some buy and sell signals. And what it looks like here, we're coming right now, we're about 13 minutes from the hour. It looks like the PPMs are going to turn up, so it looks like we're probably going to get a bit of a rally into the close. And we'll see how that sets up, but the algos are suggesting that we're going to turn up. I think there's a way to make each one of these screens full screen and then go back, but I'm not sure how to do it. So if I try anything, I'll just mess up the patterns. But anyway, let me. Yeah, it would just be really nice if I've got something going on here, folks. Hang on. I don't know how to get out of this mode. 1 second. So the 5-second still downtrend. We got a 200 period moving average on this 60-minute graph. Everything's in downtrends, but we should be able to rebound here. And this is how it's set up. We see the 5 minutes already starting to bottom. Algos are turning up there. The hourly algos are going to turn up, so we're probably going to get a little bit of a rally. The 5 seconds still working. We're coming into this close right now. We got 12 minutes to go, so there's still some downward pressure at the moment on a very short-term basis. So This setup here, what I look for is probably it looks like around 10:50 in a couple minutes. I've got my cursor on the top left. This is where I'm looking at as far as looking for a potential turnaround and a test of this 200. And that would mean roughly a move from 72 to 75. So we're talking 3 handles. But from a day trader standpoint, there's some pretty good scalping going on in that level. But this hourly chart looks like we're probably gonna take out the last hour of low here. Last hour's low was 70. Right now we're trading right at 70.50, so we're trading at the lows of last hour. And it'd be nice if we get a little bit lower. We've got some market grid numbers, a lot of stuff going on here on the hourly to watch for. And what we should see as we come in, we're getting that thing that I talked about last night where you see a contraction on the hourly of the market grid starting to collapse in a little bit. So that tells you volatility is collapsing, and we're probably going to trade within that market grid number on that hourly. So you can see now we're seeing the 5-second chart bottoming. It's setting up the run toward the 200. It's not real bullish here, but it's trying to get more bullish. And what you want to see is that the algos, these projected moving averages, start to show that it's likely to go over the 200. That'll be the confirmation. Right now, it's just suggesting we're going sideways here. So I just want to walk you through what this looks like from an intraday basis and where we are right now. It's trying to turn up. The hourly, we're now 9 minutes, 58 seconds away from this close. And the 5-minute on ppm 1, 2, 3, and the 200 are all bullish right now on the 5-minute chart. So everything's set. We should start to see a bottom here. The algos on the 1 is looking to start to turn up. And then all we're waiting for now is this 200 to turn on the 5-second. Look at this. We're getting fib targets right now to trade up to 74, 75. You can see that they're starting to grow. We just need this algo on the bottom here to start to become a little more bullish. It's flattening out, but it looks like we're going to try to turn this up here in just literally a few seconds. Oh, really? Okay. Fernando, thank you for that. So do me a favor. If you got whoever is on this call right now and you'd like to be in on a private Zoom meeting with me, and we can go through, I really want to learn this platform, but it's a lot easier. You can watch a lot of YouTube videos, but you never find out what you want. So if we could interact, that would be really cool. There's certain things I'd like to know how to do, and I'm sure there are pros on listening right now. So we're still trying to get a bottom here on this. Notice how this 200 is still coming down. We're coming into this. We got 8 minutes now to go toward this hourly close. 5-minute is starting to stall just a little bit, but the 1 minute is trying to set up bottoms here. So it looks like, interesting enough, right at, if you see my cursor on the right hand top screen here, right at on the hour, you see the ppms are starting to turn up, and we also just got some fib targets for 82, 86, and there's one more above that. No, that's all that's out there. So we got an 82, 86 projection coming in here on the 1 minute, the 5-minute still setting up this pattern, and we're now 7 minutes out to this close. So look at the 200. It's starting to turn up, and you're starting to see way out on the tail out here. Let me bring this over. You'll see that finally it looks like the market's going to try to cross over. And when this thing starts to project vertical, you'll see this. So you have to have, I think, a premium account to get to these seconds. But if you get this, hopefully we get to see something. There was a really good one when I was having all the trouble on the previous. So down below here, folks, I have the daily market grid right on the screen here, but it's so small I can look over at my big monitor. So we're testing this low here of last hour. So what we're likely to see is a print lower as we get to this final print here, which is 6 minutes away. We'll probably see a little bit of sell-off, and we should see a reversal and a possibility of a rally into the close. Yeah, so S1, I think we might have went to even a deeper level. I think we traded right to S2 earlier this morning. S2 is 55, I think, if I recall. Okay, so still kind of moderate on this 200 on the 5 second. I really hope we get some good action here so you folks get to see this. I think we will. Typically, I don't know what it is, like right on the switches on the 5, on even the 1 minute, you'll see activity around these bars as they close. Those of you that spent some time in the live room with me know that when we were going through the trades that we'd see this 5 minute, the market would trade, get very active as we come into the last 30 seconds or so. So you'll see the same activity. We're 5 minutes out. So the 5 minute bar on the right hand side is still looking like it wants to run up toward the 200, which is where 87. Oh, look, check it out. Look at the 200 here. It's starting to, and it was kind of small to see. You see, we're finally looking like we're going to get a crossover. Looks like we're going to trade up, and then we should get a surge. And that surge is coming in. Look at that. Where my cursor is, it's projecting right out to that last 1 minute trade. So it was last 10:59:35 is where my cursor is right now. So yeah, we'll see it. It's flattening out now. So we're getting a little flattener. But it looks like we flatten out. This is what's being projected here in this 5 second. I'm in the top left window. It's showing a little bit of downside, flat to downside. You can see the projections here, and there's kind of a magic number where it's 17. The way these calculate on these small, 16% on this number up on top here. If it drops, goes much below that. Here's the little weakness I was talking about. So it looks like we've got some fib targets on the downside here, looking at 69, which makes that new low that I was talking about. We still have not. Yeah, we're just trading right at these lows. So we're being projected down, but it looks like we're going to at least try to get this rally. Let's see what happens here. We're now, just finished. We got 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go here. We'll see what kind of action we get. Hope we get a nice move here. Yeah, so here's what we'll do, everyone. If you want to be on that, do a Zoom. Send your email, say, yes, I want to be on Zoom, and send it to info@Kendall Report. Yeah, I love being able to talk and hang out with you folks, and we can even have it set up so other folks can show their screens and the whole bit. So we'll have it interactive. We'll probably be somewhat selective, 5 to 10 people. It won't be hundreds of people. So, but let me know and just tell me your level of expertise, pro level, whatever. Okay, here we go. We're getting close. 2 minutes to go. 5 minutes still positive down here on the right-hand bottom, 1 minute, still trying to formulate some kind of bottom. And this is the chart we want to watch, though. What I would like to see, we still have this downward slope, but if we look at the where the projections are here, see my cursor on the left hand on the 5-second chart, it's still, that value is still slightly negative on the 200. Here goes the rally to this is exactly what we're talking about. Coming in, where are we at? 1 minute, 26 seconds ago. They're going to blast this thing, folks. I would suspect we'll see easily up into, there's that 16 number I was just telling you about. This thing is ready to roll. Look at this. We're breaking through the 200. We're in yeah, look at folks. Look at this. I'm telling you, that thing started to turn. Let's see see if we can get this thing to go a little vertical here. Right on the hour, the algos are turning up on the hourly. Now it's flattening out a little bit. We're coming in to the 30 seconds. And down at the bottom, we'll get an update. So what you see right now, the algos start to adapt. Look at this thing run. The 1 minute was telling us, the 5 minute was telling, all the algos were predicting that we're going to move off of this base down here at 71. We're trading 75. That's a good day trade right there, folks. Now now all of a sudden we're starting to get, we're flattening out on this 200. This is like the best indicator I've used for this chart. And then it looks like we get another surge here about 2 or 3 minutes after. Now, typically, like I said, you come in on the hourly below. We just updated here. Notice that the market grid collapsed in. Let me just see. Yeah, you can see it on the bottom left. It's coming down into one of those patterns. It takes somewhere between 6 to 10 hours to normalize. I've talked about that. When we get these volatility spikes, we got exactly what was going on. But listen, I would tell you folks, I'm not trying to be corny here, but this is like literally having the crystal ball. I know I used to joke with my crystal ball. But look at this, it's still evolving. Now what's happening with the algos on the 5-second, look, it's getting more bullish, but look at this, I had to come down. We have 3 Fibonacci targets right on this 5-second. And the way that everything's being projected, the 200 now has turned positive from being negative. And it's probably going to roll up this slope. We'll probably get at least a fib target 1 and 2. I'm just going to give you rough numbers here. That's going to be 79, probably that 81, 82 number. That was a number that I was talking about a few minutes. Let's see what, now it's flattening out a little bit. What you watch for here, that might have been it. Sometimes the market grid will top out around here, but it looks like we want to watch this 200. And already you see a little bit of a bid. The algos on the hourly turned up on the PPM 1, 2, and 3. And usually that sets the tone for like a 2 to 3 hour rally. Just got some new fib targets on the 5-second. So now it's 80, 82, 75. And look at the algos. They're in a big trend mode here, folks. I wish I could. Yeah, I just wish I knew how to use this so I could blow that chart up. But the algos are suggesting that we're going to at least try to run up toward this we should see that hourly chart is the power chart. And that is going to set you up. I never thought, listen, folks, this is 100% honesty here. I put the 5-second chart up so I could learn how these algos were adjusting. And then what I was seeing, now we've just moderated the targets again. You got new fib targets, and look, it's starting to flatten out a little bit. So all of a sudden, this thing is starting to tell you, if you caught this trade, you're probably taking profits here. That's what and then you look for resumptions, and maybe come all the way back to the 200 here. But what we're seeing, look at this. We're peaking out on the 1. We're getting the PPMs are starting to roll over on the 1. We still have some power in the 5. And like I said, 85, 87, it would be the target on the 200 on the 5-minute. And so all we're watching now, I mean, you could, if you had to, you put a stop under it. We're getting fib targets. Look at the algos. They're totally flat. Now they turn down. So that's like your warning sign. It looks like a retest of the 200. And then we'll see if this 200 gets negative at all here. I'm telling you, folks, I use this. I can usually hit my marks. I have a daily, where I have a profit target that I go for every day. And once I hit that mark, I'm done, okay? And I can usually hit that mark within the first 2 hours of the day. And a lot of times you look at the screen, there's a lot more money on there, but if you hit your marks, if they're good ones, there's a lot of money. But look, we're flat. 200 is still rising now, so it's still positive. It's 0.0059. So you never get these like robust 0.25 numbers on the 200. That you could go through 1,200,000 period moving average on any increment. I don't think I've ever seen a 0.25. So the numbers are only looking that you have an upward slope. But that as I told you, this 16-minute 200 period, 5, I can't get this out, 5-second chart with the 200 is a 16.6 minute moving average here, and it's upsloping now. So you have a positive slope going, and I'm going forward out, and this is 11:12, so we're at 7. I said it's about 6-7 minutes in the future is what we're looking at, and what it's saying right now, we should trade in this range around 79, start to stabilize here, and we didn't get a negative roll here at all. We just got a little blip down, and now we're right back into kind of an upward slope. And what you're likely to see, if we get just a little more strength, there it goes. It'll start to adjust, and this thing will turn bullish. When it goes vertical, it is like the most insane trade you've ever seen. All right. I'm looking at I'm afraid if I go off this, but here it goes. Look at the 5 seconds. So we're moved up that angle again. And what we want to watch to see if it holds into here and we start to see a further bullish adjustment. Now the hourly says yes. Look at the hourly. I mean, that was a perfect turn. I can tell you this morning, okay, so when we start the day, we start at 1/2 the hour. That 30-minute, after that first half hour this morning, right at the top of the hours where we got a really serious surge there. It was, I think we went from the lows at 59 all the way into the 80 handle. It was a monster rally. Everything turned up like I just showed you just now. And so now we're starting to get a little flatness again. And you can see we're projecting flat, even going way out here 6 minutes to holding around the 78. We just got downward fib targets on the 5 second. So we're seeing let me see if I can make this a little easier to read here. Yeah, so you can see the 200 is about to to turn back up again. So it's probably going to stabilize right around here. And, you know, as you folks know, have been around the channel, I spent my life looking at these same moving averages, 10, 21, 40. And I found out when I added the 200 around 2017 or 18 is when I started using the 200. Look at this. We got fib targets upside, brand new ones here. Right now, 82, 83, 85. We've had multiple targets, clusters here. So all of a sudden the algos are starting to turn up. What do we got going here? 5 minutes still looking to get to that 200 period moving average on the 5 minute, which will put us right at that 84, 80, 87 level. And the algos on the 5 are still positive. We're still looking at some pretty decent price movement here. What I would looking for here is you can see that we're starting to flatten out here on ppm 200 on the 5-second chart. This is what it was projecting multiple minutes ago. We're looking at just going sideways. What time are we getting? I got about another 15 minutes we can hang out. Here it is flattening out. Everything projecting to coming down and testing that 200 period moving average. We may come down and bounce off of that. We do have fib targets on the 1 minute up on the right-hand side. You got 3 fib targets there. And the 5 minute chart still bullish, still looking for that 200 to print, which is 85, 87 range. And so those fib targets, and here's a new little fib target just popped up. Not sure if you can see it. Okay, they went away. They're trying to, it won't take much here. Looks like we have some weakness. Looks like it tested this 200. So we're going to find out whether this market's going to hold this 200. What you want to watch is this tail out here to see it's crossing the 200 to the downside now. So there is some vulnerability here. It's starting to get a little weaker as we go through. So looking at about 111, looking about a minute out, that we should be able to try to strengthen again, but it really just kind of went into a consolidation here. We traded up to what? Traded up to 80 handle, is that right? Yeah. So that was a pretty decent little move. Here we are coming into the 200. Looks like we should test the 200. It's still got a pretty upward slope. There's that 16% number. That tells us we should hold this number. And we're literally probably 10, 15 seconds if we're going to bottom here. We should start to see a little bit of a turn. We did get over here in the 1 minute. We got downward fib targets. A lot to watch here, folks. I'm just looking at the eyeball here. What I'm looking at here is we've got targets of 69, 64, 62. So like a retest of the lows. We're challenging the 200. Now we're getting weaker numbers. So it looks like we're starting to look like we're going to roll back down. The 1 minute is right on support levels. So we've got to hold right here around this 200. And we're still getting weaker. If you look at this 5 second, it is starting to weaken a little bit. We got a little bit of a potential bounce coming and then maybe a retest and move. But this angle of this number, this 16% number, they're all 16s right now. We should be able to hold along that line, which is going to put us around that 76, 75 and a half, 77 range. Should be a really tight range. So the 1 minute updated, algos have crossed through for second derivative. We got downside objectives coming in here. Just got new downside objective. Well, they got erased. We're very close to trying to roll this. And if you look, we got, like I said, a little bit of strength coming and then a rollover here at about 14 after the hour and about where we at here. Yeah, at about a minute and a half. it's trying to roll. Looks like it's going to get fairly serious, and maybe this 1 minute chart's leading us that way. There's still a slight upward slope in the 200 for the moment. So we'll see if there's some downside objectives here now on the 75, 74.25, 73.75. So nothing drastic because you're looking at a very small increment of time. Now we're getting upside objectives. This is a little bit of support here. We'll see if it breaks down, and it looks like it's trying to roll, but the averages are still hovering. You can see this top line is the 200, so things are trying to forecast a little bit, but more stable than anything here. Yeah, listen, it's a lot easier when you have 32-inch monitors. And you can sit back about 4 feet and trade away. So, but the one thing that I do want to point out of what we just went through is this hourly chart. What was going on there is it turned up, and that was signaling the rally as we came into that. Yeah, you can. That's Ronald. I'd see your question there. It would be nice to be able to do that, but you can see the general direction is going that way. And as far as the actual values, what you want to see here, my opinion, and I use these things every day to trade, is if you have a general sense of market direction, especially if you're really scalper. Well, I go for 3 and 4 ticks. Okay, I'm just like in and out, in and out. Typically, minimum trade 5 contracts, and you go in and out, and you make $375. Boom, boom, $500. Boom, take them just in and out. And so, but for that kind of trading, this 5 second is good. But if you notice what's happening here is we now are getting signals from the 200 that it's going to try to roll, but we've got upward fib targets here. So what we'll look for is if we get any adjustments. Let me try to, without distorting things too much. Yeah, so this is a little better view, I think. You see we now have these upward targets, and what we're likely to see is that the algo will start to flatten out here, maybe turn up, because look, all of a sudden we're starting to see potential positives here. We got fib targets on the upside. The 1 minute is about to bottom, and the 5 minute remains still bullish in the pattern. We still have decent numbers. Okay, look at this. We just got a big hit, just boom. So the 200 wins again. Look at this. All of a sudden it's projecting lower prices. But the fib targets on the downside are getting hit second. Yeah, so we're starting to get heated up a little bit. Where are we? 1 second here. I think, Emmy, I think what you have to have is the premium to get the 5 seconds. Yeah, Don Peterson, this is a day trader view of the world. Look at the algos all trying to turn up again here. We're getting upward objectives. So we have the hourly chart, which gave us the original buy signal, said we should rally for the next 2 hours minimum. And like I said, we're probably looking for a bit of a rally, maybe into 87, 90. Who knows? Maybe we get a squeeze coming in. It's just kind of interesting that, when you're looking at the minutia of the markets like this, you have to remember I grew up on the trading floors, and you got to find a way to filter the noise out. I want to see the noise, I want to hear the noise, but I want to decide which is the right noise to listen to. So this hourly chart is the trigger. And then, like I said, like we have over here in the far upward right, we have new fib targets on the upside, roughly 86, 90, and 92 on a 1 minute. Let me just look and see if we have. Yeah, we don't have any fib targets here. These dotted lines that you see on this chart over here are actually the market grid, daily market grid lines. So a combination of things that I have on here. I've got all the PPMs for the most part. Look at this. We're starting to get, here we go. There's 81. So that forecast of that weakness dissipated. We traded just under there. We went into these fib targets, and now we're back to rally mode. Now it's already flattening out. So from a day trader standpoint and looking at this, you have to be careful because if you react too much to this, then you end up. That's the best way to put this. You end up really cutting off some good trades. So you want to make sure you have a perspective. But here's the deal on this 1 hour chart. What I'm going to tell you is the high last hour was 80.75. So far we're 80.75 high. We take out those 80.75s, then those projections on the 1 minute chart up into the 90 handle are going to be very valid. And the other thing we have on the hourly chart, we do have I'm just looking here, 44.8275 is the 21 period moving average, but we are crossed over first, second derivatives down below on PPM2. So everything's on a go to trade up toward the RXT level. And RXT, so let's go through that. R2 on the hourly, 44.81, 44.83 R3, RTX 84.83. So we're starting to get a flattening out again. So we got a little surge back into flattening mode. And really, if you look at what we're doing, I'm going to bring this in. Look how good this 16.6 minute average was. So we just got whacked. We got fib targets almost immediately. And we had fib targets down to 78, and it just went right there in one trade. But look at this. We started to see that negative roll coming in. But it looks like we're going to stabilize here again. More weakness on the 5 second coming in. Yeah, this is a little better view on the 5 minute now. So like I said, it looks like we want to try to print up to the 200 period moving average on that 5, which is up around 87, 85, 87 range. So back to the 200. Now we're going to find out whether this thing's going to roll over. PPM 200 is on the 5 second is 0.008, 0008. So it's barely up. So the upward momentum is dying here. And so we could see a little bit of a roll. And so what you do when you see something set up like this, you look for where the support is on the 1, the 5. And the real perspective to keep, in my opinion, is this hourly. So if we would have come in on the hourly, we would have come in, I'm just looking back here, the hourly turn happened right here around 73. So if you were playing this, you'd be walking this line up around the 73, and we keep holding this 200 because there's still a slight upslope. Now it's only 0.0003. Yeah, so a good question on the PPMs there is how do you determine when the PPM's trending down and retards are opposite direction? Yeah, what's happening here is the AR on the moving averages are slightly different. What you usually see is that the PPMs will start to turn around. So we're still looking stable here, folks. PPM 1 on a 1 minute is 0.0339. And yeah, so you still got a slight positive upslope. Let me just get the 44.79 is where we're probably going to hold. And what we're looking at now, look at the 200 is starting to try to turn up on the 5 second. We've got Fibonacci targets up above here. Once again, 83, 84. Everything's pointing to that 5 minute 200 right now. And of course, like I said, we had last hour, let me get these numbers for you. Last hour high was 78, and now we've had 78.50. We're right on the money here. We're about to break out. We get above the 21 period moving average on the hourly, and we should run. The algos are starting to get bullish again on the 5 second. We're basically hovering along this 16.6 minute trend line. Yeah, look at this. Look at the algos kicking in. Here we go. As soon as they turn right here in this base, they crossed over first second derivatives right here at, let's see here, around 80. So here's the 85 number, folks. Coming right up, 85, 87 is going to be the mark you're going to want to watch here. And we had, remember these projections on the 1 minute, just a 86. Let me just look at the actual numbers. High target 1, 77. What am I looking at here? 1 second here. Yeah, 89. I've got to find the right numbers here. Yeah, so yellow 86, 90, and 93 are the targets. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take this thing out over 45 today. Nobody wanted to sell them down there in the hole. But so far, the hourly turnaround, just the uptick on the, this is what I've been doing, folks. Just if, let's say the PPM 1 was down last hour and it turns up at the, right at the, if you go back to when we were talking a little bit ago, when that hour, right at the 1 hour trigger point, that open on the 1 hour was at 77. So here we are trading what, 83.25. So we're flattening out again. And what's interesting about this 16-minute trend line, it's got that 16%. We're showing that we're going to consolidate a little bit here. It's 11:30. We got an hour and a half to go. And to me, I'm seeing everything. We got what I call a bubble bottom on the 5 minute. We've got interest on the, one thing I didn't point out on the update of the hourly, we also got an upward slope on the market grid. If you notice on the hourly, bottom left hand, all of the market grid turned up. We're building a bullish channel to the upside here. So we're trading at and above that that 21. RXT for this hour, as I was telling you, let me just make sure I'm on the right chart here. RXT is 44.8850. So we'll probably hit up to there, and then where are we at on the hour? So we got 31 minutes to go. The next hour should also be positive. And but the final hour, this is kind of interesting. So because I'm going to leave you folks to this here in just a few minutes. I'll close this out. I can't come on screen video wise, but the point is here that what we should see is that the hourly chart should peak out in the next hour, and then the next half hour, and then we should see potentially come back into some of these ranges. Originally, it looks like we should get, like I said, the next hour. Actually, it'll still be positive next hour. It won't be until the after the close where this thing is going to turn down. So we've got a pretty good shot. If the looking at the market grid is R2 is 89, R3 92, RXT is 44.95. So I would suspect we're going to print up into that 40 handle. So while I've been talking, this 5-second chart is just got a slight upslope here. And like I said, that angle of attack of this 200, this thing is magic. How many times it just will bounce off of there and continue this upward pattern. Now you see the algo's just flattened out on the 5-second. So we're back into a consolidation range. And for the most part, just trying to get this number here. Yeah, for the most part, you know, we should be able to print up just a little bit higher on the toward this 5-minute 200. Yeah, it's almost like a 20-second delay. That was the nice thing about our old trading room. We had a private software that we ran, so there was no delay. There is 20 seconds. Absolutely. So the stuff I'm talking about's already happened. So, yeah, it's between 10 and 20 seconds. Somebody said there's a trick that you can do to eliminate the lag. I think you somehow change the speed. There's a way to do it. You back it up and then you change the speed. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the super chat. You're welcome. But listen, folks, I'm just, I wish I'd come back on screen because I'm going to kind of wind down here. But look at the algos have turned back up again. I mean, this thing just wants, it's going to continue into this hour. So we still have 30 minutes left. But that was a really good walkthrough. Look at this. We're trading almost RXT, 87.25. There's the number. Yeah, folks, listen, there's so much. We didn't use Webflow. There's some other little hooks in here. And like I said, it's fairly frustrating that we ended up not being able to run the meeting the first time because we missed a really good trade. But this is the power in these AR and these looking forward and these moving averages. I mentioned something a little bit ago that there was I ran some high frequency trading algos off of the 5-second chart yesterday. It was absolutely insane on what was able to be targeted and accomplished by doing that. So Yeah, so I've got pretty much a hard stop coming up here, folks. I appreciate everybody hanging out. And if you're watching a replay, just remember, if you would like to do a Zoom meeting with me, just tell me your expertise level on TradingView. I'd love to hang out and just learn how to use this platform a little better. For the most part, it's pretty good. It's not near, from a trading standpoint, it's kind of hard to beat TradeStation, but I've also used TradeStation for 32 years or something like that. In fact, there's user studies in TradeStation that I developed back in the 90s that are still on the platform. So I was the original solution provider back in 1992. That's awesome, Barrett. I wish I had time to do a lot of this, but it's really fun if you figure out a few of these little things that I talked about today, folks. Man, I'm telling you, I would just tell you once again that you get the indicators if you haven't got them. We are changing pricing fairly soon. They're still going to be, in my opinion, cheap, but they're not going to be where they are now. And but there's some other good things that are happening. And like I said, we'll eventually here very soon get the TradingView channel going. Right now, I think I've got 485 followers. I'll start pushing that when we have some content out there that will be useful to that community. Right now, there's not much on there other than if you got the invite-only indicators, that's about all. So look what happens. And while I was talking, we got a little rollover back to the 200. But we hit those marks. That's the important thing. We're right into 85, 87. That was written in stone a while back. And like I said, we've got 25 minutes to go. We should have one more hour. I'll just tell you, if one of the things that is really important, I'll close out here. One of the things really important is to understand the characteristics of the market. I trade E-minis and E-minis. I don't even look at anything else. You have to remember, I grew up in a trading pit where you traded in the pit you were in. You didn't actually get a chance to, how's the best way to say it? I mean, that's all you could do is trade in the crowd that you were in. So I still have that mentality. And just for the record, if you do want to look at these things, you can go to kindlereport.com/indicators, and there's some videos and some introduction to some things there and how to buy them and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you go there and do that. But that will get you definitely get you started. There's a video for each one of the indicators to understand how they're used, all that kind of stuff as well. So you're not just on your own. And I will do these live streams. And the plan is, like I said, is to put out some sort of where I'll actually get totally organized. I am fixated, folks, on this setup that I showed you today. I mean, there's just a lot of money in understanding this setup. And it's just hard to explain the power other than showing you what you saw today. You can see now where we've got just a kind of a sideways consolidation going, and like I said, we're 23 minutes out. So watch that hourly close. Typical. Let me set it up. I'm about to say this like 3 times. What you get on that hour setup is you usually get an adverse reaction, so it's going to go up. I don't think we're in a position to do this, but you want to watch the market grid numbers in there as well. Look for, it's just like on every bar that we talk about every night on the dailies. Look for, S1, S2 as a place to re-enter, and if they print S1 or 2, you can usually get in there, and then you're looking at some kind of exit. Theoretically, the way that the market grid is sloped, we should see a higher high than we got this hour on the next hour. Possibly from there, that'll put us all the way up to the 40-hour moving average right here. That'll put us up there. that 93, 95 level. But I would be wary. I wouldn't be shorting up there. I would definitely play it to rally there, but I'd be careful about shorting up there because I think that the opportunity or the probability that we could go back above 4,500 is there. So we could see some acceleration. And what's going to happen is if you have the indicators and everything here, you're going to be able to see this thing start to turn bullish again. And I would, like I said, I shared this setup. One of the things I just wanted to point out, actually very interesting, and is that we are about to potentially get an RTX sell signal on the 5-minute chart right now. So that would tell us 2 to 3 bars sideways. That takes us into the hour. What I keep trying to tell you folks is that when you're trading, it's sort of like driving on a dark country road with your bright headlights on. You're just looking for the next corner. That's all we're doing here is just looking for that next bend, and you can only see out that far. So just make sure you watch for some of these turns, and that'll be the best way to go. So anyway, can't come on screen. Thank you so much for everybody that showed up and spent some time. I'm sure plenty will watch the replay. So anyway, folks, have a great rest of your day. Have a good weekend. We'll see you on Sunday.